In tonight's Biz Blitz, is this the rally before the storm? Usually a market correction happens once a year, but it's been 1,052 days since the last big correction. So should we expect this run up to end soon? Back with our all-stars, we have Scott, Todd, and Lauren. Scott, first to you. Is it coming?
David, it's probably coming at some point, but it's not coming as soon as you think. And I'll give you a couple good reasons. If it does come soon, then guess what? This is the biggest correction that we've seen that's been forecasted in the history of the markets. We always know it's the corrections you don't see that hurt you the most. Plus bond rates, David, at all-time lows almost here, below 2.5% on the 10-year. Stocks are the only game in town with rates so low.
Well, I think you hit on it, and that's exactly it, Todd. As long as you have interest rates at zero, forced at zero, and inflation at 2% above that, that means if you're saving money, it's getting eaten away 2% a year.
That's right. Rates are obnoxiously low right now, and Scott is absolutely right. This market is not stopping anytime soon. Here's the thing. We went through a brutal first quarter this year. You had a minus 2.9% GDP print, polar vortex, geopolitical events that are taking place, yet the bear market just keeps going on. We haven't had a 10% correction in 3 years, David, and it's not going to happen this year.
What do you think, Lauren?
I think it's going to happen, but no time soon. And I also wouldn't call what we have right now a rally. It's the summer. Trading volume is so light, but we're still in an up market.
Volume is low, but we keep hitting these record highs in various indexes.
The Fed will eventually pull back, but it's not going to be a drastic pullback where it's going to kill the market. It's going to be slow.
As long as interest rates are below inflation, I think there's no place else for the money. We've got to go on to issue number 2. Big changes to Twitter's privacy policy. Twitter users photoshopping images of Robin Williams after his death to the point where his daughter quit social media altogether. Now Twitter changing its policy, saying in order to respect the wishes of loved ones, Twitter will remove imagery of deceased individuals in certain circumstances. But Lauren, they have 271 million users. They're going to have to. They're going to. If they review every single death that comes in, they're going to be reviewing from now until the end of eternity.
This is corporate responsibility, though. People can be awfully mean. I'm here with 3 men. I guarantee you, the comments that I get on Twitter are more nasty than the comments that you get. People are exposed.
My comments are pretty nasty. It's surprising what you can say that's nasty about a guy.
I'll refrain from doing this today.
But the point is, I'm just wondering, Scott, how they have enough people to go through all of these requests, because each one, they say, will be reviewed independently with all sorts of certification of death and everything else.
Yeah, and all the people that make fun of my hair on Twitter, I'm coming after you, and hopefully Twitter is too, Lauren. And they're not complimentary. Maybe yours are. Listen, here's the deal, though, David. Twitter can do whatever they want. I mean, they can censor stuff that's in the user agreement. Same thing with YouTube. YouTube had the same problem where they were reporting, users were reporting people before they actually saw it, the YouTube people. So the reality is this. There's going to be some sort of censorship, and if it affects people in a negative way, it's going to be more positive than negative.
Todd, what do you think?
That's right, but remember, all these social media sites, they do not exist without content. So there is a fine line with how much they actually delete off of these pages.
Okay, I'd left a little extra time for number 3 because I love this subject.
Yes.
I think it's the new economy versus the old economy. Issue number 3 is taxis still trying to drive Uber out. Now with President Obama's former campaign advisor David Plouffe on board, Uber is going to have a better time fighting regulations, at least in the city halls and inside the White House. It is still, though, a long road ahead. Taxi commissioners still want to take Uber out. So, Todd, isn't this just crony capitalists, these guys, these few big taxi owners who have connections with City Hall trying to drive out the newcomers?
Well, Uber must be doing something right. I mean, they are raising, it's not just here in New York, it's everywhere, major cities around the world.
170 cities.
Yeah, and think about this. I mean, for a company like this, it's a category killer. And I think this is where the taxi commissioners, they have to think, they have to evolve. They have to do something. They either have to have a joint venture or some other thing. But what they're trying to do is stop Uber, and actually they're raising their popularity.
Lauren, taxi commissioners are supposed to work for the public. They're supposed to protect the public. But who are they protecting? The passengers in New York are getting a lousy deal because it costs a lot of money. You get dirty cabs as opposed to Uber, which are kind of clean things, and you can negotiate on a price. The drivers of taxis are not being protected because they're mostly immigrants who don't particularly like their job. So who are they protecting? The small elite of owners owners of these taxis that have all their connections and hooks into City Hall.
Yeah, the people who own the medallions of the cab companies. But they have to modernize. And Uber, I mean, $18 billion is the valuation at this point. They're doing everything in their power to fight back. That's why they have Pluff. Plus, I'm assuming he's getting a huge payday for signing on.
Well, the irony, of course, Scott, is that Pluff is a Democrat, and the Democrats are the one that have most of the connections in City Hall, and they're the ones that are probably trying to put off all these Uber type of, and it's not just Uber, by the way. There's that other, what's the other one called? Lyft,
Airbnb.
You also have all these private bus services, these sort of luxury limos, et cetera. So they're all getting heat from City Hall, Scott.
David, same with Airbnb, too, which has been a hated target of the Dems as well, which goes to the point, though, Lauren mentioned it, $18 billion valuation. It's now the world's most valuable startup, by the way. And it's also disruptive technology that, guess what? There's demand for it. If it wasn't any good, if it didn't work, consumers wouldn't consume it, and they love it. Yeah, and it's the new economy. The great thing about this new economy, it flies in the face of all the old protectionist, monopolist, Todd kind of movements that we have that have sort of perpetuated the worst of capitalism, the worst of crony capitalism. That's right. Well, like I said, I mean, they're doing something right. I mean, and this is a company that they will continue to go into new markets, into other markets around the world. And look, I honestly, I don't see how the taxi commission, they are actually going to stop this because, like Scott said, it is popular. People are using it. It does work. If it didn't work, then they would be in trouble. Who wins, Lauren? Do the Ubers of the world win, or is it the protectionists in City Hall?
Uber's going to win here. Lyft and the others, they're going to win. But I'll tell you, I can get a yellow cab anytime I want now. I bet you I can get a yellow cab on New Year's Eve in Times Square.
Scott, quickly, last
word.
The
Uber might win, David, but taxis can win, too. That's a great point because taxis before were such a monopoly that they could treat consumers like trash. Now they can't.
Okay. Scott Martin, Todd Schoenberger, Lauren Simonetti. Gang, thank you very much. Thanks. Good to see you. And